I was doing something in real life. What was I doing? I can't remember what I was doing, but something hit me and it's like, ooh, the thing in dreams. Everyone's had those moments. So you'll be doing something and then something else you've been like, how can I solve this problem? Then all of a sudden you'll be doing something else and it'll go, ooh, maybe this will work. I've had that sort of moment. So I've jumped on dreams. Um, if you've watched any of my streams, you'll know I really would like to get a proper dynamic, like dress, skirt, that kind of thing. So this isn't so much creating the object, this is more test building it. So my idea was, I've got these. Now, if I turn around to these and say, for example, make this one here collidable. If you want to know how the dreams things work, if I back all the way out, this puppet here has a collision, what I can collide with. It also has a tag of what this is classified as, and if you come into here, it actually says whether it's collidable or not. Now, the puppet itself, its collision when you go to there is that big white thing, but that's not what we're necessarily interested in. So with this, we can say to this, it can collide with whatever, but ideally we want it to be collidable because it's collidable, and we want it to be labeled as friend, so that this that white shape, its detection system is friend. So if anything else can collide with friend, it will hit that white thing. So with that, hopefully, if I turn around and say to this that it can collide with, if we're going to make this, for example, an object, so we'll go object, it does not collide with object, and it is labeled as friend. So the big white shape there, it's collidable, but only by things that are white. So objects cannot collide with the actual, that white shape. So if we then turn around to these and grab, got this, grab all these shapes, and we tell it that these are to be labeled as object, and they are to collide with everything except for friend. If I'm not going to make them collidable just yet. So in theory, every single one of those squares, which is my dynamic cloth thing, should collide with anything that is not labeled as friend. And because that big shape is labeled as friend, it shouldn't collide with that. So this one here, as it stands right now, it's density of 1%. It obeys gravity. Its friction is at 40%. It's collidable. It's movable, and it's visible. So that's all good. But hopefully, it will not collide with that big thing in the middle because it doesn't collide with friend. And it's labeled as an object, and the big object in the middle of the puppet should not collide with it. So they shouldn't interact with each other. So if I now jump out and test it, they don't do anything. So that's good. That part's good. But if I then turn around and say because at the moment only the bottom one collides. If I turn around and say we'll zoom in, we'll go that one, and we'll go about halfway down. We're going to turn the collisions of them to on, to make sure that they're unmovable. Again, do not collide with friend, and the tag is object. Now we do want them, however, to collide with the legs, because when you walk, we want it to better your leg to bump that object. So we're going to grab the legs, and we're going to make sure that those do not collide with friend, because that's what the puppet is. Yeah, it's part of the puppet, but we don't want the puppet colliding with itself. So we're making sure it does not collide with that, and we're going to label this as not object, because we don't necessarily want that and that to not collide. We want them to collide. So we're going to pick something. So we'll go machine, because that's normally what I choose. So I'll go machine. So these here are now labeled as machine. They don't collide with friend, and they're now collidable. That will stop these from colliding with the center of the puppet, but the center of the puppet will collide with these. So we've got to come back out again, grab the puppet, and make sure we turn off the collidables with machine. So now the puppet's centerpiece should not collide with these leg pieces, and these leg pieces shouldn't collide with the puppet centerpiece. But these should collide with them, and they should collide with them. That one, and I think it was that one. So if I just go into play mode, yes, they collide. So that's a good one. So at the moment, that's good. The density of them, I think, needs to change, because if I come into there, they're way too droopy. So if we go into here, let's turn the density to 0.5. This is all do your own tests and stuff like that. So it could make it fully dense when you wire you sculpt the pieces. I'm going to end up sculpting my own like a skeleton for it that can be used, and then I'll attach stuff. So that should now work. So if I now attach this with the hip like that, and if I go one to there, and then we'll clone the entire thing, and we go one to just say there. So we've now got let's just tilt them out a bit. So if we go 15 that way, and get this one go 15 this way. Okay, so in theory they're attached to that. They should now drape. They should also collide with the leg. So they're not colliding, but they're not colliding. Although they are colliding, they're just not very good at it. That side one is not working. Why is that side one not working? Okay, let's figure out why you are not doing what you're told. It was that one and that one, I believe. Collidable. Not with friend. And you're... Oh yeah, so it collides with machine. And so... Okay, no, I don't want it colliding with itself, so let's turn that one off. Let's double check this one, that one, and that one. And make sure the same again. Okay, we don't want it colliding with object, because it's an object. So it shouldn't hit itself. We're trying to reduce the amount of calculations the actual thing has to do. So in theory, you should better... see, no, it's going passing through, okay. So if I grab the puppet and grab its hitbox, which is there, let's reduce its... Okay, so we're about at 35. And let's lower it right down to about, say, there somewhere. So that should be low enough where it shouldn't interfere with it. I've found that being collidable can still interfere with it. So if I do that, it should hopefully correct that? No. Why is it not? Why is it not? I think it is, it's just not real good at it. Okay, what about if I make them all collidable? Let's have a look at that. If I go like this. Okay, they're all collidable. Let's do a heap of friction. If I turn up the density to like 100, you'll see what I mean by that. We're going to leave that off. It does not collide. Does not collide with itself because it is labeled as that. Now, ideally, I would do that to make sure that, and say I would normally do it the same with the collisions, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm testing, so all of those there should now collide with hopefully with that. Thank you. So, oh, we don't want them colliding with themselves either, so let's make sure that they don't collide with themselves. Machine, okay. So, let's move this over here. So these are the two legs. They are the machines. They collide with everything except for friend and themselves. So, like environments and stuff like that, they should still collide with. Because if you turn off all of those, your puppet will just fall through the map, and we don't want that. So long as the collisions are on, frictions are up, density shouldn't matter. in this situation, that should be fine. So they should now... No, why not? Why not? But you can see the hips are moving because they're heaps dense. The front on the front's heaps dense. Why is that doing that? Okay. Well, hang on. I think I know what might be causing it. This, we've got to do that. No, and no. And it's got to be labeled as that for the group. Because the group has its own no and no. And yes. Okay. Double check. Okay, it's labeled as object, which is correct. It collides with everything except for object and friend. Okay. Okay, I should hopefully correct it. No, it hasn't. Some bitch. Okay, what about if we turn the density right down? Okay, let's get rid of this side one. Grab them. Oh yeah, because the top one's not collidable, so we don't do that, we've got to do that. Okay, so let's just double make sure movable. Let's double check that they're like that. Collides with everything, let's make sure it doesn't with that, doesn't with that. Make sure that they're all labeled the same. Let's turn the density down. If I turn it to 0, it's got no density. I'm thinking maybe if I can get it to... Come on. Oh, I'm going to have to do it manually. 0.1. Thank you. Okay, so that should now collide, right? It's not colliding. Why is it not colliding? What have I done? What have I done? Okay, that is annoying. That is super annoying. Look, if I move you out by 1, if I attach you to there... Yeah, it's just passing through. Why? Why? That makes no sense. Okay, I'm just gonna, for now, back out then here. For now, I'm just gonna turn off that's collision, because I've got a feeling that's what's causing it. So I do that. Okay, no, it's not. That's not the issue. Okay. So if we go back into there, I can turn that one back on again. Let's move this out. Let's enlarge it just for testing purposes. Like that. So when the puppet walks through, it should collide with it regardless, right? So it is colliding. Okay, so it is colliding, but I think it's to do with the hit. Yeah, I think it's to do with the hitboxes are too small or something. We've got to somehow get it so that they actually do collide. My god, this is annoying. Okay, if I make... if I get a sphere... Let's put a sphere like that. I just want to test. So right now there's a ball. Now if I delete the square, that should be a centered ball. Now if I then grab that and go to its... wrong one, that one? No, that one. And go to its whole density and stuff like that. If I change its like physics cost, it's one giant ball. If I turn it back down again, oh, actually no, it's not. So doing that, oh, okay, doing that doesn't fix that problem. It makes it neater. But it looks like it is just one giant ball. Okay, we'll leave it like that. We'll do a test. Okay, that seems to hit a lot easier, a lot better. So, because this is going to be technically hidden, hopefully, with the idea I've got. I spoke about it before, making a grid skirt. If I just get this, And so I can, in theory, then get this one, this one, this one, and this one. I can then turn that collision off. And then this one, do the same again with the ball or sphere. Oops. Okay, let's get it there. Let's center it-ish. Like that, then delete that. And then let's make sure that its density is as low as I can get it. Okay, so that there should be the most collidable. So if I then attach it to the hip, let's have a little bit of angle. Now it should only collide with the leg like as before, and then let's test that. Okay, it seems to be a lot more reliable. It's still clipping way too much. The only way around that. Oh, fudge! I know how I'm gonna have to fix that. I know, but it's gonna be. I don't want to do it this way because then you have to. Oh my god. Okay. If I grab a sphere and scale it to roughly the same size as what the leg's gonna be, place it in the leg, and roughly where that ball would hit the leg, and then we're going to attach it to the actual leg itself, and we're going to label that as the same as the leg, so we're going to make it sure it's collidable with that, and so only those collide with it. It's going to be labeled as machine. Yeah, that's correct. It's collidable. It's not movable because it's going to be attached to the legs. That's fine. Friction will be turned up, density can be turned off, and ignore gravity can be turned off, because that is literally just a hitbox. And we're just going to make sure the density that is turned down. Okay, so does that make it hit? Okay, because of the looseness of the joint, you can't tighten the joints like that. It's annoying. Let's move it down a little bit. Now I should be able to clone this as many times as I want. That's just going to increase the again calculations, which I'm trying to reduce. But I'll put 3 just for testing. Okay, so that it's not hitting them. Son of a bitch. That should be hitting them, and it's not. It's annoying me. It is kind of. And see how they're separating? That's to do with the density. I don't know how to fix that. There's no way to tell it that the hinge is to be like, you can't move it. Because if you make the hinges any tighter, like if you get that and you go like this and go that, it does a whole different sort of problem. But I'll do it anyway, just for testing purposes. Yeah, but see how it's... Yeah, see now it causes completely different issues. Okay, so that's a no-go. Okay, let's turn them to none. Okay, so the plan was to then get, I can hide them, hide that. We want to go clone of that sideways, so we'll say it about there. And then while they're like that, we can then, is it going to let me? Probably not. If I go to the paint tool, we want to grab that one, we want to grab the ruler, and we want to grab that one. Now this here isn't so important, but we want to grab like that, and then go to there, and there's what's going to be the connector, and that will be what you'll be seeing the skirt. So if I now back out and go, okay, this here has to be attached to that one. No, Oh yeah, because I went from that side. That's good. Okay. And then if I come into here and choose its physical, gravity I'm not going to worry about, and floppiness I'm going to turn down for now just for testing. Attach both ends. Now that one there, if I come, let's back out. No, back out. We're going to go into there. We want to grab this, and we want it to attach to that. So right now, hopefully, that paint that I just placed should be attached to that ball, and then other side attached to the other ball. So when that ball hits your leg, it should hopefully deflect by that much allowance. Fingers crossed. But it should be attached to each other. It's not colliding. This is annoying. Okay, so the only way to see to get around... I've turned that hitbox off though. Wait, so if I turn that off, it's labeled as friend. It can collide with all those. Wait. You know, I'm going to turn object back on, just to see what happens. Just to see what happens. Okay, it's definitely hitting... I think it's definitely hitting the actual thing, but if your legs move, does it? It could work. The one closest, the one on the right leg, seems to be hitting a lot better than the one on the left. But in theory, that could be a viable method. If I now delete... Let's delete these. Actually, no, I'll leave that one so we can use it if we need to. And do the same for all these pieces. So if I grab... paint tool. Grab that. That is incorrect. Why did I do that? Paint tool. Yeah. There. That's correct. And then ruler. Now, looseness isn't necessarily the enemy here. It's actually probably a friend. Okay, let's do that. So if we're going to clone that multiple times, I go to there, to those balls, to there, and the top. Okay. Yeah, it's nowhere near aligned, but it's alright. So there. Let's move that out a little bit. Actually, if we align them with each other at this point, okay, so if I grab each one and attach it to its corresponding one on this side, because I painted that way, didn't I? Yes. So if I go like this and grab that one, and we'll go attach that to there. Do that one to that one. That one goes to that one. Okay, so I'm going to grab this one. Let's back out so we can see this one here. So we can go back into here. Okay, that's correct. I want to go into here. Physical. Again, I turned that other one down, so I'll do the same with this. Would I have a 15, didn't I? Attach both ends, and it has to attach to that one. And if I go into this one, I should do the same with this one. There, make sure that's back out. Go into there, so that does that. Physical, 15. Okay, it's probably the spam bot. Yeah, I'm not turning the chat on because it's the spam bot. I can tell you right now. Attach both ends. Let's grab it to there. Do that. No, I said no. There. Back out. To there. Do the same with this. Physical. 15. I don't think the amount of floppiness matters, both ends. Okay, I'm gonna go to, was that one I was on, wasn't it? I think so. There. That. Back out so I can get to there. There. Floppiness down. Attach both ends, and then it's attached to there. Nope, it's a group. That's what we want. Back out to there. 15. There. That. Back into there. 15. To, I think it was that one. And then go to there. It should be the last one. That one's already attached. Okay. That's viable. Now, obviously, that's just a quick chuck together test. But if I give this puppet some sort of animations to emphasize the testing. So, for example, if I come in and say, if I press a button, we can have it do a squat, just a simple squat with the legs in a bit. Let's have that run off, that one. And let's do another one with the, actually I can copy that and just change it a little bit. Do that, and let's make the legs more separated. Okay, so if I do that and that, and we don't want them to be sharp animations, to a blender. Yeah, 1.4 sounds good, and we'll do the same. 1 second coming up. So walking, like obviously every segment doesn't hit, but the ball parts seem to be hitting. And if I do the animations, for some reason that left leg isn't hitting, but the right one is. Yeah, so there's obviously something I've done to one and not the other. So this one here doesn't seem to be hitting. Why? Yep, that's a group. Ah, there we go. Collidable, non-movable. Why what? Why what? So, okay, it does not collide with friend and does not collide with object. It is labeled as object. Okay. Oh yeah, that's definitely viable. Look at that. That's actually pretty cool. Now, obviously, I'll just make a segment like this, and then you can like place multiple segments, and then. Question is, because it should be a group, right? No, sack. Okay, so if I do that, then that, and group them, will that break it? No. That's still viable. Okay, so if I then grab that, which is now a group, and just say if I clone it and then move it over here somewhere, so just say to there, I should be able to place that one there and then come in and grab this one, and then if I grab this one and let's not have it be this precise, just go like this and go to where I want it, so just say there somewhere. It curves like a skirt would. It doesn't have the exact collisions. Wait, if I'm... Ooh, okay, yeah, because it's because I've moved it too far that way, okay. So if I come in, grab this one and move it to just say there. Alright, because that's actually quite good. That is super good. That is actually better than I thought it would be. Yeah, its exact movements aren't perfect because it's got less collisions. But that less collisions means it should be more manageable when it comes to lag. As a loincloth, that could be viable as well. A dress, maybe not so much. But yeah, I'm not too unhappy with that test. Now obviously you would hide the actual the sculpts. So I can get rid of that. So if you can, you'd come into here and you'd go, okay, that, oh no, because that's attached, so you have to come into there, go like this and go, not visible, not visible, not visible, the collision, not visible. It shouldn't matter because those there don't determine whether it's visible or not. Because they've grouped, they've turned that off, which is annoying, but that's alright. Okay, so let's see what that looks like on the side. Yeah, it still has the collision. Yeah, no, it's not the most precise. I could, in theory, make every single one of those have a collision. So when I sculpt it, I'll sculpt it with, say, 4 balls, 4 spheres, and then I have the base. So I can make the base a cube, make 4 balls, have them hinge like the draping parts do, and then those balls are what the paint attaches to, and then have it so that each of those segments can be have the toggleable of collision or not. Yeah, I reckon that's a viable option there. Because without the thing, as you can see on this side, it looks quite viable. You could go do that. It's like just a normal painted thing. Actually, I wonder what it would look like if I put the tidier on there. Oh, you can't do that with the paints. You can do it with sculpts. Thought I might have found a use for the new tool they added. If I do that, one more, that, do that. Yeah, it doesn't have the tidy thing on here. Okay. Okay. I want to make all these other ones invisible. And then I might release it on the thing, so if someone wants to use it to do their own tests, they can. I'm just wondering if... Okay, I'll leave the sides that's visible. So the drapiness and stuff like that of those are still through that chip, which is for the actual. So if I come into here and go here, you can choose its angle and stuff like that. So if you want to make it less angle and stuff like that, you can actually tell it to do less angle and it can't flop as much. So if I do that, actually if it's at 50, so if I go 25. the side that's on the left side of that skirt should move less than the right side of the skirt. So we'll have a quick look at it. Yeah, you can see there's a lot less of the angle. Yeah, I actually reckon that's pretty... Okay, so the idea I had was doable. Okay. Do I have to get that many back? There we go. Okay, so yeah, that's all this stream was about. I had the idea. I thought I'll stream me implementing an idea. This sort of stuff I don't mind releasing because if they flag this as inappropriate, they're absolute morons. And to the dreamer, the guy in Dreams, that just recently had one of his things flagged. Seriously, Media Molecule, your moderation system sucks. He had something that was flagged as inappropriate or what was it? Offensive or inappropriate. I've used his creation. I've played with his creation. There is nothing wrong with it. There's nothing offensive. There's nothing inappropriate about it. It's as appropriate as you can get. So Media Molecule's moderation system's in the wrong here. But there's my test. Let's do a... Where are we there and go. We'll call it contraption. We'll call it A. That'll do. Because if I was to do that painted thing without the skeleton, it would just pass through, and we don't want it to hit. So yes, release. Make something public. It's forever. Yes, that's nice. Okay. So in doing that, I should better come into here and delete the offline version. Okay, goody gumdrops. So I go here, I can go useful basic. Let's do that just to rub it in. Remixable and work in progress, that'll do. Okay, so I've done a test similar to this before, but the other method I used a full line. So that's what made me think if instead of going the full line, instead of going all the way across, like you could go all the way across and make the hitbox wider, but that then makes more of the hitboxes, and we want to reduce that. So just making the ball. So if I now come in, for example, and go, let's unhide everything, and just say we want this one to collide with more surface space, we can literally just come in here, get the clone tool. If we clone that to just say there and to there, yeah, it'll increase how much calculating it does, but it would also make it so that it hits more regularly. So it's up if you want to use it. Dynamics testing A. If you're on Dreams and you've got a suggestion, by all means comment the suggestions. If you got a request, comment the requests and stuff like that. If it's doable, if it's reasonable, I'll consider it. If it's like you're just having a troll at me or you're being silly, then it's obviously going to go unheard. I'm going to ignore it. Like if you turn around and say, or make, and you say like a super HD human being that's like fully rigged that has, I don't know, like HD quality light. I'm not going to do that just because it's the amount of work that would go into it. I would get bored with it so quick, and I'm not getting paid to do it, so I'm not going to do much effort. But if it's something like, can you make me a version of one of your puppets? It's like, what do you want? Male, female, sporty, skin color, hairstyles, that sort of stuff. Then if it's doable, I'll do it. So like if you wanted to say, for example, if I come into here and go, let's go to Publix, or actually Playables. Oh no, Publix is better. If you say like, oh, you want a custom version of this puppet here. Just say you want it to be closer to Lara Croft, because it's obviously this puppet is based on Lara Croft. You might turn around and say, oh, okay, I want one with a longer ponytail, or a different outfit, or you want, I don't know, anything. If it's a reasonable request, like you want it to have the proper eyes, you want to have a talking mouth, I can do that. If you want it to be a blonde, I can do that. If you want it to have, I don't know, a gun that it can pull out. If it's not, you don't want high quality stuff, I'll give it a whirl. If you want like a 1911 pistol that's like fully detailed and has proper dynamic bullets and all that sort of stuff, it's like, I'm not putting that much effort in for something I'm not getting paid for. It's like, what the hell? Most of my creations are, in brackets, passion projects. It's like, because no one on Dreams is paid, except for Media Molecule. So their creations, they should be really high quality, because they're getting paid to create them. But this sort of stuff, the effort I put in is the amount of effort that I'm going to get out of it. So my own personal creations, I'll put extra effort into, because I'm getting more out of it. But creations that, for like example, this one here, this is public, people can play it. I didn't put a huge amount of effort into it. I put enough effort into it where it would go, okay, he's put effort into it, but I haven't gone, okay, let's give it a like, let's paint the freaking cloth pattern on it. Let's paint a zipper. Let's sculpt a zipper on the front. I'm not going to do all that. So what the hell? Like, yeah. Like the fact that I've made it, it's got a barrel, a placeable barrel. Like, if you want to use this stuff, use it. Like, place it. You can get the barrel. You can make. Like, if I go into here and go to just say edit, if you don't want this barrel to have always have the stuff inside of it, just go into it, select the goop. Oh, there's the goop. There's a chip on the barrel. Oh, there's a chip on the barrel just here. All you have to do is grab a randomizer. There. Go like this. Grab its visibility. Right now, it has a 50-50 chance it's going to have goop in it. If I now go this, clone, there. Just say there's 5. Around about 2 or 3 of these should have goop in them. And if you go to play mode, you can go, okay, oop, that one's got goop. That one's got goop. That one doesn't. That one does. And that one doesn't. So 2 of them didn't. 3 of them did. So you can now make you got to find the barrels that are full and remove them. Or something, I don't know, whatever your game happens to be. But the little things I've put in, like the smoke, most people won't even notice that. I've put it in the light that comes on when you move. So when you're walking around, you can see where you're going. So if you make a really dark level, you've at least got a light, you can see where you're going. It's all little touches I've put in. That's the effort I've put in. If you zoom in, his little name thing is, my name is Matt. That, if you want to change that, just scope in to the puppet, his chest. Ay. We'll turn X-ray on, we'll come in. These ones here. If you want to change his name, you can change that to whatever you want. It's literally his name display. So again, my aim is still to have a seamless puppet that moves correctly, and also have a dynamic cloth piece that is modular enough that you can use it to make a dress, you can use it to make a skirt, you can use it to make a loincloth, a kilt, a ponytail, but to have it so that it flops smoothly, drapes smoothly, but also collides. So that's where I'm stuck with the paint tool. Does the drapiness, it does the floppiness, but it doesn't have the collisions. And you can't just go, okay, attach this to that and have it do its thing. You have to have the hinges and stuff to restrict it, and that can ruin its drapiness. Just doing a strip like a ponytail, you could quite easily, like with the ponytail on this one, you could easily just paint. In fact, I'll show you. If I go remix, To make this ponytail a smoother without the connectors, as you can see there, I can come in, actually I'll sculpt it off it. If I grab, for example, the paint tool there, we want the rule, we'll go 10 will be fine, we'll go there. If we do this, if we then come out to, how long is it? It's about to there, so we'll go to, say, that. Okay, now if I have to come in and do a whole lot of alignment here. Okay, that looks passable. Okay, now if I now attach that to the base, so that this whole paint thing is now part of the base. But if I tell it then, like I did with the other one, that this is to be connected both ends, so it's to be physical, touch both ends. Now the floppiness doesn't really matter. The less floppiness is, the more the curve would be a curve and less of a random mess. But if we then go in and we scope back one, so we can then select the different pieces, we should be able to get that, attach it to that. That should now, we should be able to go like this and go hide these. That one, hide, thank you. Let's go to the next one and hide that. And hide that. Hide that. And I should better hide that. So now it's got the ponytail, but if at any point, it's doing the weirdness because of the way it's attached, but if at any point I want it to be able to collide with the puppet so that they can't pass through, I can now tell a piece of that old ponytail that it's to collide, and that ponytail will not pass through. So the struggles go on. Again, if you're on Dreams and you want something of one of my creations, a version of it, throw me a message on Dreams, not on the PlayStation, on Dreams. Again, if it's doable and it's not asking, can I have a diamond plated gun that's fully working, then I'll consider it. If it's you want Doom, you mean to make you a Doom? It's like, I'm not making you a Doom. I'll make you a part of a Doom and you can make the rest. Like if you want a Doom character, I'll try and sculpt the Doom character. I'm not exactly a big Doom fan, but I'll give it a whirl. Like how hard could it be? It's an armored guy. All my creations that are public, again, you're free to use. If I don't want you using them, I will make them playable and you can't use them then. My game that I've showed off before, this will eventually be remixable. I'm not going to make it remixable until I get to a point where it's like, okay, this is at a point now where you should better, when you remix it, just move shit around and make a whole new game. It's almost there. The furniture is basic. In the stream I showed a little while back, the chairs need some adjusting and stuff like that. I'm thinking I'm just going to leave the furniture as blocky like that. Again, anyone who's made furniture or decorative stuff, you know, like garbage bins and stuff, and it's low thermal, and they want it in the game, again, throw me a message on Dreams and say, I've got this. Can you use it in the game? If it'll fit, I'll place it in, and you'll get a room named after you. So like when you come in here. Let's turn this alarm off. Okay, alarm's turned off. Let's grab the key. Oop, the key's not there anymore. It's over here. So for example, when you come out here, this room here is your room. It literally says your room. I think it says your unit. Yeah, your unit. If, for example, I use your garbage bin, and you see your garbage bin down the hallway, this room here could be your name, and then when you go in this room, there'll be a little pedestal or something with your garbage bin on it. And I'll try and label it as the garbage bin is so and so's work, or this object is so and so's work, or thanks so and so for the object. I have sculpted the head. I think I showed that off before. All this stuff here is still as it was the last stream I done. You can unlock that. You can unlock the one below, the one to the right, and the next one. They're all unlockables, but you got to find them in the map. When you're in that screen, it stops the danger. But technically, if you move around, let's just test. Oh, I haven't tested this part. If I come to here, for example, if I go to there, do that and walk forward, and then back like this, I should have walked in the room. No. Wait, what? This ain't my room. This is my room. Okay, let's stand right here. Go to that. If I push forward on the stick, and then go back again. Oh no, I did make it so it disconnects from the puppet. Okay. I thought I may have accidentally left the thing so you can move around when you're on the other screen, which could be a cool challenge thing. But don't ask me how you figured where your character was. But so as you can see, the danger's getting to where I am. So I'll slowly lose health and I'll eventually die. If you die, you spawn back into here, and you'll start losing health again. It could end up in a death loop. So obviously I've got to figure out a way to solve that problem. But do I want to solve that problem, or is that a punishment? Well, I've figured out a sort of dynamic cloth workaround that could work. Now, obviously, that isn't as fine. I will resculpt a new skeleton, and I'll paint a better surface. I'll try and make it look more, not necessarily pleated, but more like a skirt or like a piece of cloth, and less like a bunch of squares. So a bit denser, like all that sort of stuff. I'm not a big fan of the way the paint tool works, but I'll give it a good crack and see how good I can make it. This here is my chip display, if you want to call it. Well, that's what it's called. It's so if you're making a chip. So for example, if I come into search and search up chip, actually, if I search it up and go, if I go my delay switches, that's a good example. My delays, if I go delay, they're in sculpts, so you can find them. Because if you come into the world and you don't have a sculpt, you can't find it. It's like the chip could be anywhere, and that creation, where are we? That creation is so that if you make a chip, you can place it in the world, and you can find it. And it's got, if I go to edit, it's got little connectors in the little connectors. And if you go into the actual body part here, you can actually adjust. Like, is it a tall chip, or is it a short chip? Where are we? Wait, why is that not moving? Because that. Wait, what? Oh, because okay. I've forgotten to put an extra keyframe in. There's meant to be a keyframe, so when that's off, it's up. So at the moment, it's not knowing to pull itself up. Okay, that's annoying. So you can hide that side, you can hide that side. When they're both out, those center ones will turn on. It's just so that people can say, okay, is it a long chip, is it a short chip? If I go to that and then reset, no, yeah, it has. I need that keyframe. Bugger. So and the chip you want to display, you just stick it in here. If it's got functionalities, you can wire them up to that, and then people can literally, without having to go into the chip itself, they can have an input and an output. It's kind of that. So it's back out of there. It's out of there. You don't save. Let's, for notifications, let's check that. Okay, people just giving my creation a thumbs up. This one here, that is the guy's creation, the female base. This version is the one that got flagged as inappropriate. That, because it has standard underwear on, that was flagged as inappropriate, apparently. So he's made a newer version that has slightly different underwear. It's like, seriously? That's the kind of crap people are complaining about? It's like, yeah. So that's how bad the moderation system is in Media Molecule. Give us a switch. So if it's anything that could be moderated, we can tick it and say, right, this is mature crap, not safe for kids. So I'm gonna call the stream, guys. Again, suggestions or requests, if you message me in dreams, I'll give it a look. I am going to do a stream at some point where I'm just going to start streaming. I'll have the chat on. If people want me to create something, I will look at the chat or in the comments. If someone says in one of my videos, oh, why don't you make this or something like that. I've had one guy say something about survival game. I've been making survival games. I want simple gadget stuff that I can make. Things like actually no, that one's easy enough to show off. This one here is my personal version. I think I showed it off before. It's got toggleable underwear and stuff like that. So if you come in, you go, oh, just so you want to turn tank top off, you should get a pink bra on underneath, or you could do, okay, turn the bra off, turn the tube top on. It's a very skimpy tube top, but yeah. So all that stuff, it's all toggleable. Same with like the belt, you can take the belt off, take the pack off. It has the whole, when you do that, it's got the whole days at the top food, you slowly get hungry. That's what the fed meter's for. Apples fall out the tree, I've showed it all before. Those kind of little gadgety things, I like to make those. I don't want to go making a whole full program just to do something, because that takes up so much time for such a little reward. It's like, oh, I can't be screwed. I want something that I can go spend maybe an hour on tweaking. Like this puppet, it took me a couple of hours. Oh yeah, I'm still on that. Just turned the pack off. Oops. So I can walk around, pick the apples up. It'll tell me I've got 3 apples. I'm at 99 fed. If that gets to 0, I'll start taking damage. And the only way I can see my damage is by wearing my pack. So let's put the pack back on. This puppet, the basic version, is available. I've also got a dynamic version. So if I back out and go to, I think it's playable for the dynamic version? Yeah. It's the same puppet. I just gave it jiggly boobs and jiggly butt. It has a little, you can take the imp out and still be controlling the puppet. It's so that you can interact with switches and stuff like that. But as a little Easter egg I made, so you can interact with the, you can actually play with its boobs, and you can play with its butt cheeks. It's like, just like a little Easter egg thing. Actually, I think you do the ponytail as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and you can play with the ponytail. The backpack doesn't, it moves, like it jiggles around a little bit, but it's not enough to go, okay, or did I? No, I didn't. It's not enough to make it so you can like grab it. But on my relaxation one, I showed that I've got switches, and it's like, well, that's kind of silly that I have to exit the puppet. So this has got the actual, you push the button and your imp exits, but you still got control of the puppet. So when I make a updated version to this, which you can play, I might change the puppet over the other one. I'm out here. Stay safe, and I'll catch you next time. See yous.